Guys, who is doing the intro can start, by sharp 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock we can start. Bhuvanesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can. Who is the giving intro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Her internet is a little bit weak. She's joining.
Yeah. Please connect. No? So, professor is waiting already. My connection is unstable, but anyway, I am logging in mobile from the hospital.
Yes, sir. Just a minute, sir.
Good morning. My connection and voice will be very unstable. Please carry on. Is already ready.
Just a
Do the
second, sir.
intro.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Bhuvnesh Parikh, and I welcome you from behalf of the entire CSBS class. I would
Good
like to
afternoon.
I would
Good
like to
afternoon.
introduce you to our whole class. Basically, class Dr. Balakrishna Muniappan is an associate professor in human resource management in Vasan Open University, Malaysia. He is an HRDF certified trainer, certified practitioner of NLP from AB NLP USA, a certified NLP coach, and a certified trainer, speaker, and coach with the John Maxwell team. Is also a HRM specialist and was conferred the Best Professor in HRM Award at the World Education Congress Asia's Education Excellence Award 2014 in Singapore and at the World HRD Congress 2017 in Mumbai. He has also been a visiting professor in HRM and has served as an external examiner for DBA/PhD thesis in HRM for several universities within Asia, Africa, and Europe. Dr. Bala is frequently honored as an invited speaker in HRM at numerous national and international conferences and has presented papers at conferences and delivered talks in several countries within Asia, the Middle East, Australia, USA, South Pacific, Africa, and Europe. As a HRM trainer and consultant, Dr. Bala has a vast experience in conducting training, consultancy programs in HRM, and related areas such as practical industrial relations skills for managers, misconduct and domestic inquiry procedures, laws of termination and dismissal, performance management, and transformational internship. He has contributed tremendously towards HRM effectiveness for hundreds of organizations within Malaysia and worldwide. His trainings are interactive, thought provoking, engaging, and with practical insights that helps to perform participants' strategic and critical thinking skills. It's an honor to have you here, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhunesh, for your introduction. First and foremost, I would like to thank Professor Arun Kumar for his invitation for me to deliver this talk on VUCA, business strategy in this VUCA world. May I request the host to enable the screen sharing? I need to share the screen.
Bhuvanesh, you can share the screen.
You need to go to the share screen and then make it enable for the participant to share the screen.
Mr. Bhuvanesh, can you text your email ID so that I'll give it to administrator so that he can do the screen sharing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute, sir.
Text me your email.
Yes, sir. Just 1 minute.
Administrator. Just a minute, sir. We are doing
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So text, right? 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Give VIT email ID.
Okay, sir. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a minute, sir.
Sure.
Yeah.
There is the green icon down there. All you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, you are not able to, share your screen, sir.
Because it says the host disable participants screen sharing. So the
Hold on,
host.
sir. Hold on. Yes, just a minute, sir.
Sure.
Now I think you can, sir.
Okay, let me try now. Yes, now I can. Okay, yes, now I can share the screen.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
All right. Okay, all right. Thank you again. Thank you once again. Thank you to Prof. Arun Kumar for the invitation. And I would like to, I'm happy to meet all of you. Although I'm not able to see you because most of you have what they call close your video. But I hope later on when I have some interaction with you related to the topic, you can on your video and also interact with me. So as far as possible, I want the session to be interactive rather than one way. So I'm not gonna give you lecture. So it is not going to be entirely a lecture, although the content, I have a content to share with you related to the topic. So the topic that I will speak to you is about VUCA, the VUCA world and business strategies. How do you craft effective business strategies in this VUCA world? Okay, this is going to be the topic. I'm sure almost all of you are in the field who are doing studies in the field of strategy. Okay, you are all, what is your, are you taking your MBA? Are you currently MBA? What is the class now? What is, anybody can respond to me? Which class are you in? Are you taking a course today? Or are you taking a course at this semester on strategic management?
Yeah, they are taking business strategy.
Business
They are
strategy.
BTech students. They
BTech.
belongs to
Okay.
BTech.
BTech, okay, BTech. Whether you are a BTech, whether you go later on, when you go for your master's level, this session will be a foundation session for you to learn some of the basics in terms of strategic formulation. So the topic that has been given to me is about VUCA and effective business strategy. So let me start by giving you the outcome of this session. I'm going to speak to you about, let's say, 40 to 45 minutes on this topic. Can be considered as an important topic today. And at the end of the topic, You don't even have to wait till the end of the topic. Even during the session, if you feel you have certain, you have questions, comments, clarification, or if you want to interact with me directly, you can do so. You can anytime you can stop, just like a classroom. Okay, think of it like a classroom. I'm talking to you from Malaysia. I'm based here. I'm from here, from Malaysia, from Penang in Malaysia. I need someone to mute their audio. I can see a bit of disruptions there. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So the outcome, there are two outcomes. At the end of the session, it is expected. Because in every class, if you go, you need to know at the end of the class what you are going to gain from the class. What are the things that you are going to gain at the end of the session? So it's important for you to know at the end of this talk what you will be able to gain. Number one, in this session, upon completion of this session, you should be able to reflect the impact of changing business environment today. In fact, business environment is not only changing today, it has been changing every moment, every moment. It's not only every year, every month, every day, every moment there are changes taking place in the world. And the changes taking place, today we use this term called VUCA. VUCA actually is not new. You might have heard about VUCA 20 years ago, more than 20 years. In fact, if I want to look at the history of the term VUCA, it's about 26 years exactly. It started in the year 1997. Okay, VUCA. VUCA means the world today that is volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, and I can add one more, D, VUCA. D means disruptive. World today is also considered to be a disruptive world. You have seen many changes that have taken place in the world during the last 3 years. World today, they consider pre-COVID, post-COVID. Okay, last 3 years, what are the changes? You might, you can do a search, you will know those changes. Okay, the VUCA world to strategic thinking. Before you learn about strategic management and also about strategic leadership, it is essential for you first start to think about strategy. Wherever you are, whatever business that you are in, whether you are a small business holder, whether you are a small and medium scale micro business, or even whether you are in a large corporate organization, first stage in strategic formulation is a strategic thinking. Okay, strategic thinking tools, there are many. The same also applies to strategic management and also leadership. We need leaders because in organization, if the leadership fails, everything can fail. Even though you can have the best strategy in the world, you can have a clear vision, you can have a clear mission, goals, strategy. But if the leadership fails, many things will fail. All right. So number one is to reflect. Number two, the outcome of the session is to learn. Okay, what I'm going to provide you is some of the framework of strategic thinking tools that are already available from the literature. So since you are taking a course on business strategy, strategic management, there are many scholars, researchers who have provided many tools in strategic thinking for effective strategic formulation. Okay, strategic thinking tools to effectively craft strategies to face current reality and challenges. All right, now let's look at these three questions here. First of all, your understanding of VUCA world. Anybody want to respond? Feel free to respond. Anybody want to respond? You can unmute. You can give your views. So it will be better if I interact with you, you interact with me, so that the understanding will be much better. So can any one of you in this class provide me with the understanding? What do they understand when you hear the word VUCA world or VUCA world? Anybody feel free to interact. I give you a minute or two. You can unmute and you can interact. Please interact. Please don't be passive listeners, but active participants in this session. Maybe I can call some names. Anyone?
Dear students, please be interactive. Please be interactive.
Please. You don't have to fear anything. I'm very far from you. I'm talking to you from Penang.
Motivate your students to be interactive. You know?
And any one of you, give your views. In the world today, in the global world today, you can interact with people anywhere, anytime. So feel free to communicate. Feel free to interact. Give your views. What is your understanding of VUCA? I did mention about VUCA. VUCA, I mentioned earlier about world that is volatile, uncertain, ambiguous, okay, and complex and ambiguous. But how it affects you? Maybe how it affects you, or even your organization around us. What is your view? What is your opinion? Maybe when I say view means you not necessarily from what you have read, but also from your view, your opinion. Anybody? Yes, Gautam. You have unmuted. Okay, you want to share something? Okay, it's quiet. Anyone? Okay, fine. I think you are not interested to interact, but okay, let me go through with you. Okay. At the end of this session, you will understand what is VUCA, how VUCA and VUCA affects you and the business organization, and what you and your organization can do, can do to thrive in this VUCA world. Now, let me show you this. VUCA, okay? It has been happening almost every time we have been hearing this, we see changes everywhere. Just recently, I was going through, I think not recently, I think few days ago, AI. Okay, you understand AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, if any one of you made any search, not necessarily research, just search how AI is artificial intelligence. I'm sure everyone now knows about artificial intelligence. Now we are in the industry from 4.0. From 4.0, we are moving into 5.0, industry 5.0. The impact of AI, and in fact, before I go into AI, I'm sure you all are familiar now with ChatGPT. How in the past that you used to do search in a Google, now how ChatGPT provides you. In fact, some students even they are able to generate a lot of data information or even complete their work by using ChatGPT. ChatGPT actually makes it much more easier for them. But of course, even for assessors, apart from Turnitin, in order to check whether assignment is done by ChatGPT or not, also there are ways to detect. Even Turnitin have the ways to detect whether a particular assignment is done through ChatGPT. So these are some of the developments that we see, like what I mentioned to you, the impact of AI to business strategy. You can go and search. You will be able to find a lot of information. It's not only about AI, but also all the other things that are changing. So VUCA simply means the world today that is volatile. So you need to understand what do we mean by volatile. Volatile means the world that are quickly changing, unpredictable, and sometimes we can say out of control. So it affects globally. It's not only in India, it's not only in Malaysia, worldwide. Okay, people cannot say I'm not affected by VUCA. In my country, in my environment, or maybe if your business environment is a very close environment, you are a monopoly, you control everything in a particular area, you might not be bothered about VUCA. You might not be bothered about the environment at all. Okay, you might not be bothered about environment at all. So volatility, volatile. Stock market also keeps changing, volatile, unpredictable at times, uncertain. Environment requires you to take action without certainty. You might have predicted something, but all of a sudden, many things would happen, and what you have predicted might not be as in the beginning. So there's a lot of uncertainty, complex, too many. Your dependence to many things are interdependent, dependent and interdependent. Environment is dynamic. When you say the environment of business is dynamic with many interdependencies, ambiguous, unfamiliar, outside your expertise. You can't look into when you want to do a research also today. Can anyone unmute? A bit of entertainment coming in. I do not know the name here, but okay, please, thank you.
Yes, students, can you unmute your mic? There is some
okay.
play was going on.
So
can you do
ambiguous.
that? Yes, sir. Sorry about it. Yeah.
No problem at all, because it happens at times in an online session. Okay, like 10 years from now. Okay, 10 years ago, 10 years from now. Maybe 10 years from now, you can predict how the world is going to be. You don't have to wait 10 years, maybe 5 years from now. How VUCA is going to affect you, how VUCA is going to affect organization, and how it affects the way organization respond. How do people respond to change? Many times when we see
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Why? What is it?
Someone need to mute. Okay. How people respond to change? Do people look at change? Do people look at a change as an opportunity or a threat?
Only these people can withstand that. They are highly stamina persons.
You need to unmute, sir. We can hear you.
If you look at the reality.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, now, how do people respond to change? People respond in a different way. Not all the people look at change as an opportunity. There are people who look at change that are taking place. Now, in this VUCA world, the question to you in the strategic formulation is that, do you consider the world that is considered to be VUCA as an okay? A pessimist always look at things as a threat. And an optimist must always look at the things that are happening around as opportunity. So you can see at times opportunity even in crisis. World is going through changes. So people respond. Okay, people will get shocked. Things like during the time of COVID, when they are unable to do many things they are supposed to do, whatever plans, all the plans was disrupted. So when I say VUCA means it is not only a volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, but also disruptive. The world that is disruptive. Okay, shock, denial. Now, it's very important to lead ourselves, manage ourselves well Because if the denial, frustration, depression goes deeper and deeper, it goes further and further down deep, people get to a stage where from the frustration goes to depression, they are unable to recover. So at times, happening around the world, slowly, although we get shocked at times, we deny at times, we get frustrated, we get depressed, slowly there is a need to accept, experiment, and then move back to the new normal. Just like what happened during the COVID time, during the COVID crisis, worldwide, affected worldwide. In fact, I can tell you it is not over yet. Still, there are countries still affected by COVID. Cases are still there. It is not something that we can say that completely over. So, but a new normal, people accept the new normal. So it's important for us to be aware, to see. We must have the vision to see, especially in a formulation of strategy or strategic management. The leader must be able to see the environment, the happening around us that are changing, that keeps changing at every moment. The strategic leaders, they cannot be in a state of denial. At times we do have leaders, organizational leaders, who are like this, what we call the ostrich syndrome. So the ostrich syndrome, if you do some search about the ostrich syndrome, is a psychological term to describe how we were in a state where people tend to deny. They say, oh, I don't want to hear. I don't want to see. Okay, I don't want to speak about it. It's happening. It's not going to affect. But in reality, it is affecting everybody. So before we move into strategic formulation, craft strategy, it is essential for organization to answer these 7 questions. There are 7 questions that every organization should reflect and answer. Not only just reflect, they must find answer. They must do search, okay, in order to find answer to these questions. Now, all of you who are studying, who are taking a course on business strategy, must think like a strategic leader. Must think like a strategic leader in your organization. Let's take a situation, or let's take a case whereby you are the owner of your company. Doesn't matter whether it is a small and medium scale or large conglomerate or large corporate group. You have to look into, you have to reflect where it is now, where it is gonna go. Like questions like where the company is now, 2023. If you are not going to take 10 years, 2023, just think about 5 years, where it is going to go in next 5 years. When you say, when you are studying about strategic management, think that strategic management is not as same as the operational management. Strategic management is a long-term management. Strategic management or strategic questions are the question that is going to provide your organization or your future direction. Even if you are not going to look at 5 years, you can think of next 3 years. Okay, don't talk about 5 years, maybe not 10 years, 5 years, next 3 years. 3 years means year 2026. Maybe ask you yourself must have a strategic direction. Where you are now, where do you want to go? In next 3 years, next 5 years, or even next 10 years? Or you can even plan next 20 years or even 50 years. Where are you now? What is your current situation? In order to understand where you are now, you need to look into the past from where you have been. Some of you might be familiar with the quote from Lord Buddha, who said, where we are now is based on what or where we have been in the past. And where we are going to be tomorrow is going to be based on what we are going to do today. Okay, I repeat, where we are now is based on what or where we have been in the past. And where we are going to go tomorrow is going to be based on what we are going to do today. So strategic thinking starts today for an organization, for you. Think long term. Whenever you start to think long term, you already have a strategic thinking in your mind. Long term means it can be tomorrow, it can be next week, it can be what do you call 1 month from now, 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years, 50 years. Depends. So look at these 7 questions here. Where are we now? Okay, what is our current situation? How did we get to where we are today? Where do we want to go from here? How do we get, or you get, from where you are today to where you want to go in the future? What obstacles will you have to overcome? There will always be obstacles when you chart a direction, when you have a vision, mission, goals, strategies. In order to uh, achieve the particular goals, mission or vision, there will always be challenges. Like the world today that in our title we learn VUCA world. That itself is a challenge. The changing environment itself is a challenge. When we say changing environment, later on I will talk to you what are the environment. It's not only the environment that is close to you, customer, changing needs of customer, competitors, suppliers, but also much more wider environment, which is due to changes that are taking place in the political environment, economic environment, technological environment is environment that change rapidly. Obstacles. So technology, are you going to take it as an obstacle, or are you taking it as a threat or an opportunity? Remember that if you take it as a threat, you will be out of business very quickly because technology keeps changing. The faster you adapt the new technology, you will be able to survive in this environment, in the VUCA environment. And then what type of people? When you say people means in terms of their knowledge, skills, attitude, resources that you require to achieve your strategic objective. So these are questions that you need to reflect. These are the reflective questions when we want to before we formulate the strategy, before we go into strategy. Think about strategy. So in a strategy, even for you, you can look at the strategy from your own perspective. Let me explain to you. You are at this stage. If you are going to ask the question, where are you now? You are a student at VIT AP University. You are a student. You may be in your final year, second year or final year. Now, once you are, okay, where you know where you are. Now, where you are going to go 5 years from now? 5 years from now, you would have graduated. And then what do you want to do? What is your life vision? What is your life mission? Every one of you at this stage, if you do not have your vision, mission, goals, and strategies in next 5 to 10 years, let us start doing it now. Think about your vision. Vision is your direction of where you are going. The same also applies to an organization. Try to imagine a situation in an organization where the company without a direction, no vision. What is going to happen to the company? They won't go anywhere. But the reality is that many companies still operating without clear vision or direction. They may be successful due to other factors. So let's say people ask, do we really need strategy? Is strategic management needed for company? Because there are company without vision, mission, goal, strategy, they can still do their business. They are thriving in a particular industry. Why? Because they may be in an industry that are booming, but they could do better with the proper strategic management. Unfortunately, they are unable to do because they have no clear direction. So in your life too, you must have a clear direction. You must have a clear direction where you are going. That is your vision. Not only that, why you are going to go there, why you are going. That is your mission. You need to remember in the strategic concept, these are fundamental concept. Mission means why do you exist? Mission answers the question why the company exists. Let's say if I ask your mission, okay, why do you live? Why do you exist? What is the purpose of your life? Any one of you have ever wondered or questioned, what is the purpose of my life? Is my life just eat, sleep, go to the college, go to the university, study? Is that all? What is the mission? Why do I exist? Why do I exist? That is a mission. From vision, you will go to mission. Vision to mission. Okay. And then from mission, goals. Set goals. Even if an organization have no clear goals, people won't know why they have to work in an organization, what they have to do in an organization. When you study HR management, one of the critical area that you learn is about performance management. But before we talk about performance management or KPI for every department, they need to know what is the company's direction. So remember, vision is where. Mission is why. Why you are going there. Where you are going is vision. Why you are going is mission. What do we need to do to get there is your goal. How we are going to get there is what we call strategy. I hope this is clear. These are the fundamental concepts. And as I said to you earlier, even you, for your own life, you need reflection as a leader. Even the company as reflection as a leader, you need to look into where are you now? Where do you want to go? How am I going to transform? What obstacles that I have to overcome to transform? What type of competency that I need to develop in order to transform? So remember that organization needs to grow. Leaders in the organization needs to think, need to reflect where they are. Why some organizations don't want to take risks, don't want to grow? They may have sufficient fear that makes them difficult to cross certain area to take risks. Even for you, or even for some organization, they prefer to be in an environment that is considered to be comfort. I'm sure many people like to be in a comfort zone because they don't want to move from the comfort zone. But let me tell you, in the world today, things are changing very quickly. Maybe you can say if you are living in an environment that is stable, not changing, well, you can afford to be in a comfort zone. But how long are you going to be in a comfort zone? But the world that is constantly changing, it's time for us at times to challenge ourselves to move out of comfort zone, to learn something new and also to grow. The same even applies to an organization. See, I'm sure when you study strategy, you will be learning about ENSOF matrix. I'm sure you're familiar with something called ENSOF matrix, right? Okay, ENSOF matrix looks into your current product, current market. Okay, current product, current market. If you remain in your current product, current market, the only thing that you can do is to penetrate the existing market with more sales. We call what do you call market? What do you call market penetration? Current market, current product. Okay, current product. Then you have to look into new market. You can look into market development. But current market, with the if you go into with a new product, you call look into product development or diversification. Diversification is that a company can think about going into a new product, launching a new product in a new market. Maybe you can go and do some search about ENSOF metrics and you will understand what I'm trying to say. This is you might find this in your strategic management textbook. So organization need to grow. Even for you, let me tell you, you need to grow. You can't be in a one. People who have moved from one organization. Of course, I don't want to say that you should leave an organization very quickly, but you spend some time in an organization, learn in an organization. When you feel within that particular organization there is lack of growth, and you want to challenge yourself, you grow. You can learn from your professor. Okay, he moved from one to another, so there is also a growth. Okay, if you remain in a comfort zone in one particular area, difficult to grow. Okay, because today in the VUCA world, it's the world is your market. Your market is not only in Andhra Pradesh. Your market is not only in India. Your market today is the entire world. Products, services easily moves. Not like, let's say 20, 30 years ago, even 30 years ago, you can consider a market has gone global. International business has gone global. But if you keep limited to particular market, what is going to happen to you? Not only the competition is going to increase in the existing market within the particular area, but also international. Products from international movement of that is today we look into products moves that easily compared to in the past. So you need to move out of that fear zone. The lack of confidence is not only for individual but also for company. They always don't feel that they have the right capability, right talent. That's mostly is the confidence. You need to develop competency. Don't find excuses. Don't be affected by other people's opinion. At time when the company wants to grow, there are people in the company say, why do we need to grow? We are already comfortable where we are. There is no need for us to formulate new strategy, to go into a new market, to explore new things. So when you have what we call people who advise such a way, more people who are advising, that will actually going to limit the organizations to grow. So I want you to think about it. Are you where you are? I'm sure everyone is here moved out of your comfort zone. If you want to grow, you need to move out of your comfort zone. The same is applicable for the organization, not only to you. So when you look at many research, write-ups, articles, books written on strategy and strategic management, I'm going to give you a few. There are many. If you do a search, you can find so many of them. They will provide you with many tools and models. Now we are going to learn about tools and models. Earlier I mentioned to you about VUCA world and then the basic concepts of strategy. Now from the VUCA world and the basic concept of strategy, we're going to look into tools. you will be referring to many textbooks in your studies about strategy. There are many textbooks. One of the textbook, Thompson and Martin, you have Thompson and Strickland. There is also another Thompson, not the same Thompson, Johnson and Scholes. Okay, many books on strategies. Like when you look into Johnson and Scholes, he starts about strategic analysis, strategic formulation, strategic implementation. Thompson and Strickland will mention about 5 steps in strategic management, developing vision and mission, setting objective, crafting strategies, implementing strategies, and evaluating strategies. Like here in Thompson and Martin, in his book, he talks about first stage is understanding where are we? Where are we? Or what we are? What is our current situation? And then where are we going? Formulation. Where are we going? How are we going to get there? Then as you go, in order to get to where you want to go, how are we going? How are we doing? How are we doing? We are yes. Okay. How are we doing? We need to monitor progress. Are we going on the right direction? I can go on with the model, another model. Maybe this is quite popular model. No, you have these David's strategic management concept and cases. This is one of the model from, see, I can tell you almost all the strategic management, business strategy writers, researchers, they have many models they have introduced. Before you formulate a strategy, develop your vision and mission statement. Vision statement or mission statement is not just a piece of paper that that is being put in the wall of the office. It is a guiding principle to everybody. Everyone in the company need to know clearly what's the purpose of the company. Vision and mission. Then you need to assess the environment, the external environment, politics, economic, society, culture, technology, environment, internal environment within the company, your own capabilities, internal environment, also external environment, the other environment, competition. Many competitors are today, competition today are not only limited to domestic, but also international, globally are competing. Changing needs of customers, then establishing objective, generate, evaluate, choosing strategies, implementing strategies, evaluating strategies. This is another model. Then you have some more models. You have this AFI. AFI is analysis, formulation, implementation of strategies. This is from another source, strategic management. Strategic management source. So you have here initial analysis, external and internal analysis, formulation of strategy, implementation of the strategy. So strategic formulation, when you say first stage, assess the environment. Assess the VUCA environment. How the VUCA environment is affecting you. Okay, I'm sure some of you might have heard there is a Chinese work called Art of War. Any one of you come across that? In Mandarin, in Chinese, they call Bingfa, Sun Tzu Bingfa. Bingfa, okay. I have ability to speak a little bit of Mandarin because I have worked in China. They used to consider the what they call business world is considered like a warfare. Marketplace is a warfare. Shanshang Ruzangshang. That's a term that they use in Chinese, meaning that the market today is like a war. So they use the art of war. Art of war, they say, know yourself, know the enemy, you will be victorious in all battles. He who knows himself and the enemy is victorious in all battles. He who knows not himself but the enemy will have an even chance of winning the battle. And he who knows not himself and also the enemy, he doesn't know about the enemy and himself, will perish in all battles. The enemy here is a competitor. Yourself is you. You need to know your strength, your weaknesses. And Sun Tzu being far, Sun Tzu, he also says, know the self, know the enemy, your victory will not be threatened. Know the terrain, know the weather, your victory will be complete. Yourself is a company environment. The enemy is your competitor. Know the terrain can be, in this case, can be the exchange party, the customers, the suppliers. The weather is your external environment, the politics, economics, technology, society. This is from the Chinese classic. In India, you can find so many strategy works. Let me tell you, any one of you who are familiar with the Mahabharata. I'm not talking about this story, but if any one of you have read the unabridged text of the Mahabharata, which is very long, even volumes, there are many volumes. There are about close to 100,000 slokas or verses. If you read, you learn about strategy in the war, different formation of strategies. Before the strategy, you can also learn about the assessment of the enemies. There are many texts, ancient texts. So, strategic formulation, I've gone through with you. Models, tools are many. The same also applicable when you come to strategy implementation. Strategy implementation, there are many. There are 5 key models. There are models like, even in the past, 1980s, you have a models like 7S models by McKinsey, 7S models, in order to achieve the superordinate goals, what type of, what do you call, staff that you need, strategy that you need, okay, shared value or culture that you need, okay, system that you need, structure that you need, all that are there. As far as tools, when you do a search, there are many in order to formulate strategies and implement strategies as well as evaluate strategies. Very basic, you have the Taos matrix. The Taos matrix not only will tell you, this is a very basic, fundamental. Not only will tell you what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the opportunities, what are the threats, but how to use it. For example, the SO, how you're going to use your strength to maximize the opportunity. Many people will just list out strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat, and then they don't do anything after that. But this Taos matrix will provide you what are you going to do next. With your strength, with your opportunity, what are you going to do? Now, think about you yourself. You, every one of you, there are 80 of you here who are listening here. After this session, list out your strength and look at what are the opportunities that are presented in the environment. And then what are you going to do? There are opportunity, there are strength. You know your strength, there are opportunity. What do you want to do? Think today. Don't delay, think today. Today you think, you do. You can craft your own strategy for maybe 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, 40, 50. Long-term strategy you can craft, you can do. And if you are running an organization, the same thing that you can do. Know your strength. Know the opportunity. That doesn't mean the other things are not important. The others are also important. You need to know your weaknesses. You need to know the threats with your strength. How are you going to overcome the threats? A very basic strategy. These are all basic strategy. So that's why it's important. Think your direction. Strategic thinking at times to look into the threats, the issues, like what Einstein have mentioned is that if you have 60 minutes at times, you need to clearly define, clearly spend time in formulation. Implementation can take 5 minutes at times. Formulate. That's why the assessment of the environment is important. Clearly assess the environment to formulate. You know this. Many of you do. Let's say if you do research in your third year or later on when you do a research, you can make a decision, but just like looking at the what is visible. But lot of things when you go and explore, okay, let's say a particular problem, why the problem happens. Don't look at things at the surface level. When you start to look at things at the surface level, you might not be able to make the right decision. So you have to look at the things, you have to research, go to the source, go to the cause. Why it happens? Where is the source? What is the cause? And also the source. Only then you are going to get a clear vision, clear direction, clear form of assessment. And you must also need to hear from your people. You need to hear from your people. Hear from your, not only your employees, but also you must also hear from your customers, your suppliers, and have another thing that I want to tell you is that when you formulate strategy in a real world, you must also have a competitive intelligence. You can do some search about competitive intelligence. If you don't hear from the others, you make your own decision without getting feedback from your people, without doing a proper research. This is what going to happen. Like a salesman who went to Saudi Arabia. He got disappointed. He wanted to sell Coca-Cola, but he had a problem. He cannot speak Arabic. So what he did, he conveyed his message through 3 posters. Poster number 1, man lying in a hot desert, exhausted. Second poster, he drank Coca-Cola, and then he got refreshed and starts to run. And he pasted the poster all over Saudi Arabia. So a friend stopped, that you should have worked. The hell you should have, said the salesman, because he didn't do a proper research. He didn't do a proper analysis. Because in Saudi Arabia, people do not read. If you read the Arabic, if like Arabic is not from left to right, it is from right to left. The way they understood is that from right to left, somebody who is running, okay, fresh, after drinking Coca-Cola fainted. So the same thing is important to hear from many sides. You get to hear from the other side. Any decision that you make, think from various angles. That's why, like a quote from Einstein, we don't want you to be clever to solve problem. We want you to be wise to avoid problem. The same also applicable in formulation of a strategy. I'm coming to a conclusion later part, maybe the last 10 to 15 minutes, you can interact with me. Sometimes it's difficult because we have been used to certain ways of thinking, certain ways of doing things. Many of us are used to left brain. We all can read, but let's say if you are asked, don't read, just say the color. How many of you can do? Anyone want to try? Instead of saying yellow, you have to say green. Instead of saying blue, you say red. Huh? Green, red, blue, yellow. How quick you can say? But it is not impossible. It is possible if you practice. Practice. More and more you practice. So what is the word we use in Indian language? I can mean abhyasha. Abhyasham. Abhyasha is the term we use for practice. Maybe you can check the right dictionary here. The more you practice, it will be, you get better. The same also applies in strategic analysis and also strategic formulation. In the world today, changing world, VUCA world, VUCA, world that is volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, and disruptive. That's why we say VUCA. All right, that completes my session on if I want to go back to the first
Question
slide.
and answer session.
Okay, this is what we learned today. Reflect on the changing world, VUCA, and the tools. All right, that's completes the session. So feel free to interact with me. You can question or give your comments, anything. Feel free to interact.
Yes. Students, the forum is for interaction. Please do talk to
When you want to interact, please, if possible, you can on your video.
Yes,
I want to see you.
Please switch on your video. I don't have privilege of. But
maybe if you are not asking question, I will call you to ask question. There are many. I can get names from here. Many names are here. I can see the names.
Yes, Bhuvanesh, you can start with the question.
Yes, Bhuvanesh.
Mine is not exactly a question, but like it's a kind of a doubt. That
switch on your camera. Switch on your camera.
Sir, actually, mine net is really weak. That's why, like, I'm in my room right now.
Okay.
I'm on my data connection. Wi-Fi is not working. That's why.
Okay, Bhuvanesh, carry on.
Sir, I wanted to ask something that the VUCA environment, you like said that it's a disruptancy and everything, but like, don't you think that it's also an opportunity for future, that if something is not importance of something is not going down, then importance of some other thing is not coming up, right? If helicopters were not discontinued from these news channels, everything, then drones wouldn't have been made. Like, don't you think that's also the condition?
Okay, that is one example, but there are many other examples. That doesn't mean there won't be need for helicopter. There will not be need for cameraman. But what it shows that the need is still there. Helicopter is still needed. But certain ways the things are being done, the work that are being done have completely changed. Like for example, recently I just came across now, there is something that they say television will disappear. The fixed television that you have at your home will soon disappear, because Samsung recently have came out with a device that television that you can take anywhere where you travel. You just need to project, just like the LCD projector, where every channel, everything you can see everywhere. Everywhere you can take and go. So people won't be glued to a television that is fixed in a wall. Okay, so the 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 core will always be there, but the way it will be operated will be changed, will be different, with many things that are taking place. So the helicopter and the drone are also an example to show that many jobs today are slowly becoming redundant. When I say redundant means, that doesn't mean the unemployment is going to increase. So in economics, you study, there is a type of unemployment that is called technological unemployment. Technological unemployment is considered to be short term, where because to create the technology itself, you need people. So you cannot say that people will completely be eliminated. Okay, even in artificial intelligence, like in some countries where robots are taking place, taking over some of the works, to create the robot, to manage, to operate the robot, you still need people. So the nature of the job, the type of job will change. Okay, but the current job, the traditional ways on how we used to do the job will slowly disappear. Okay, so it's just an example to show how things are moving or changing. But it's important for not only for you, Bunesh, for every one of you to look into or do some search about what the researchers or futurists talks about future of jobs. What are the jobs that will be coming in next 5 to 10 years? Because even today, some jobs in next 5 years might be redundant. Even the job of a university professor or lecturer, let me tell you, maybe in 5 years, although you still need the brains, you still need people, some of the jobs can be like a lecture, giving a lecture, like a lecture that I have given to you about VUCA world and formulation of a strategy can be done by AI. Just like what you have in a chat GPT. So they can just create a robot to go talk to you. Maybe a face, different face, they can talk to you. That so even it's not only in the field, in this field of teaching, okay, teaching, and also in any field, they always have to relook into what they can do to add value, how things are changing. So that's something for you to reflect and think about even now as you are in a university doing your final year or second or final year of your program before you enter into the world of work. Okay, Bonish?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Feel free to interact. Or shall I call names here? I have many names I can see from here. Anybody? Shall I call here? I can see Pawan Kumar. Are you here? Okay, cannot. Ganesh.
Actually,
Yep.
yes.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Actually, they are going to they are preparing to go to the next hour of the class. So they
Okay.
will be, and any questions from the participants, please ask
Okay.
question. Professor,
Okay.
any other questions?
You have another class after this, huh? You have another class.
Yes, Professor.
Okay. Then it is
Tight
fine.
schedule. Yeah.
Then it's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. Akshat Singh, you raise your hand. You have a question.
Any questions? Please raise your hands. Yeah, there is one.
Yes, Akshat.
Yeah. Go ahead and ask question.
Anyone? Okay, I give
Yes,
you.
you unmute your mic.
Okay, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Anyone? Before you go for your next session. Yes.
Yeah, please post your question.
You can unmute your audio.
Unmute your mic and then you can talk. I think
Okay.
they are.
No question.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Okay.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay.
As long as
Bonish.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you conclude?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. There, Banu. There's a question.
Yeah, there is
Sir,
some hands. Yes, go ahead.
sir, thank you, sir. I would like to express my gratitude on behalf of our whole class. And it has been such an honor to attend this lecture. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Hope it is beneficial. I had actually, when the topic is given, I was thinking, should I go in there? I just given you a framework, general framework for you to think about VUCA and business strategy, and hope it is beneficial for your studies for this course on business strategy. Hope it will be beneficial to you.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Bhuvanesh, now you can.
Somebody raise their
Yes,
hand.
sir.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody raised their hand. Yeah, any questions?
Sarat. Okay, I think
Okay.
I'll pass it to you.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Bhuvanesh.
Thank you, sir. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. It has been such an honor to be a part of this lecture. On behalf of the whole class of CSBS, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, who's our esteemed guest, Dr. Balakrishnan Muniappan, Associate Professor in Human Resource Management, VUCA Open University of Malaysia. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you again for invitation. Thank you to Professor Arun Kumar and to all of you who have attended this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. In mid of your valuable, busy schedule, you are giving this valuable lecture. It's great to, no words to explain. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Definitely, your insight will be transformed into a great question, and we will post in their examination. Yeah, about VUCA. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all participants for participating. Hope you all enjoyed this session with Professor Balakrishnan Muniappan. I think his eminent knowledge certainly is going to add insight to our learning. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you, sir. Bhuvanesh, thank you so much. Bye-bye.